And my final guest is the one and only, half man, half tan, all hair. That is the magnificent David Hasselhoff. Hasselhoff. David Hasselhoff.
Kit, there are puffs on the show.
David, it's lovely to see you.
Great to be here, man.
Despite being the biggest TV star in the world, David is a very modest man. His only demand this evening was an ice bucket containing a chilled magnum of Brut. And he splashed it on all over. And we have great music from New Order. It's from the trial. So if that's the case, Macaulay, please explain this picture. Right. And it gets worse. Have a look at this one. What's he doing to the monkey? The monkey's wearing pink pants. That's what I find most disturbing. Let's get our final guest out. I can honestly say I am delighted he's on the show. There's something about him which I think is just so pleasant. He is Mr. David Hasselhoff.
Rescue me, and take me in your arms, rescue me. I want your tender charms, 'cause I'm lonely and I'm blue. I need you, and you're not too. Come on and rescue me.
Mr. David Hasselhoff.
Thank you.
Sir, please be seated.
Oh, you know, I like those shirts.
That's good, isn't it?
Can I get them?
Yeah. That's,
after you wash them?
That's early period Hoff, isn't it?
Yeah, that's quite early. That's, I have no recollection of that picture, but I had big hair back then.
Was it a large period of your life you don't remember, or just individual photographs?
And your name is?
Should I call you David? Should I call you the Hoff? Should I call you Haschel? What do you like to go
David
by?
would be
David.
fine.
I like saying the Hoff, though. Hasselhoff is a great name.
Yeah, I'm telling you, everywhere I go in London, it's like, hey, there goes the Hoff. You know, what is with this country?
We're taking you to our bosom. What can we say, Hoff?
I'm telling you. Thank you. Ross?
Ross doesn't sound as good. Hoff sounds right.
Hasselross.
Is that,
Ross.
Is that some sort of Germanic insult?
I don't know.
Are you German?
No, are you?
Would you like it to be German?
I'm happy.
You've kind of been adopted by the Germans.
Well, it was an amazing run over there. I had a big single back in 1989 called Looking for Freedom, and it led to a lot of fantastic times.
Let's get... Well, there's one of them, David, I believe. Look at that. Oh, why are you laughing?
That's awful.
Why are you laughing? That's a fine... There's nothing wrong with that photograph.
No, that wasn't that.
What's wrong with that?
That was a TV advertised album from New Zealand.
I don't see anything wrong with that
sold
photograph.
7 copies.
If I could look that good lounging around at home, I would lounge around all day. I'd be proud of it. Laugh.
What else are you going to show during this interview?
Wait and see. Hey. What are you doing? Hoff, hey.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
All right, now...
Need to be in the bubble now.
Genuinely,
Yes.
I am thrilled you're on the show because although you've done TV shows, which in a way, they're kind of kitschy, they're sort of... people appreciate
Baywatch
them.
is kitschy?
Well, you know what I'm saying.
Oh, yes.
You are so much bigger than the shows. You are more than the total of the parts, if that makes sense. You know, you're an endearing and larger-than-life character. And those shows could have finished someone else off. A lesser man could be lying by the wayside after just Knight Rider alone could have finished off.
I called my dad when I got the script, and I said, Dad, I've got the most amazing show. It's incredible. It's like James Bond in a car, and the car talks. And my dad says, have you been drinking? I said, no. He said, maybe you should start. I said, but Dad, it's about a talking car. And believe it or not, it worked. It's still working.
I still like the kit car.
Yeah.
Did you get through more than one kit cars? Were there more than one kit cars?
We had 9 cars that came to the set every day.
9 kit cars?
Yeah, it was a lot easier than working with some of the girls on Baywatch, you know. If the cars didn't know their lines, we'd wreck them and just get another car in there.
You see, that, I think, is slightly sexist.
Is it? Well, you know. It's
and speaking of someone who's walked a mile in a woman's shoes...
You have?
Very nearly.
Well, with
actually,
your band
have you ever worn woman's shoes? That's a yes, then.
No, I haven't.
I wore stilettos to a fancy dress party once. I tell you what, they are bitching.
Yeah, I know. I did a show in drag on Baywatch, and it was... Now I know why my wife and they're all so cranky when trying to get ready. It takes a lot of stuff to get a lady ready.
Yeah, and like
all that hose and all that
and they have
stuff.
to trim themselves all over and shave their legs. I don't like shaving my face every day. Imagine shaving right up to your Punjabi every day. That's a lot of work.
Is that what Punjabi means?
Did I say
There's
Punjabi?
a record about Knight Rider with Punjabi. Now I know what it means.
Punjabi's a lovely place to visit.
I've been there.
More than once. All right. Knight Rider, I very much enjoyed. The voice of the car...
Michael.
Was that what the car's name was?
Yes.
Okay, but it had a slightly...
No, Kit. Kit was the name of the car.
You
I
were
was
Michael, that's what I thought.
You watched the show once.
I watched it when I was a child.
Okay, you don't remember?
Youngish. I do remember. I don't remember the name of your name in it. How would I remember your bloody name in it? Everyone was... Look, can I give you some news here?
Yes, please.
We were watching for the car.
Okay, I know.
It could have been anyone driving it.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
No, I'm not. Put up a fight. Don't roll over.
I was a stud. I was a stud.
But it must have been great to be a stud.
You know, I didn't mind. They used to have these reviews that come out that would say, David Hasselhoff is playing second fiddle to a car.
Oh.
And I said, that's fine, because the car was actually William Daniels, who is this massively popular Emmy Award-winning actor. And it was a lot of fun.
So if your dad was surprised when you phoned up and said, I'm playing opposite a talking car, how did his dad react when he said, I am being a talking car?
Yeah. You know, actually, I never did a scene with him. It was always, I didn't meet him until the Christmas party. We sat down and he says, hello, Michael. I'm Kit. And I said, well, I'm Michael. And he said, we have a hit show, don't we? And I said, yeah, because they put his voice in later.
That must have been one of the strangest conversations for someone to walk past and hear.
No, God, yeah.
So the car didn't actually talk while you were in it?
No. Whoever wanted to read the lines of Kit that day would read them. So some, PA or the assistant director or somebody would get on the tow truck and would read the lines. Can I play Kit today? And I said, yeah, sure. So I give him the radio. And then we had a thing called, I guess you can say shit here, shit buying time, which was at 6 o'clock at night when we had no time left to shoot. So I got tape. I go, tape! And we tape all the lines on the dashboard. So I drive down, I go, how are you, buddy? Okay. You can just do the entire show.
I should point out there was more to it than just that, though, the show, if people haven't seen it.
Well, the fact that it's still kind of running, something happened. People seem to like it.
David, here's the exciting thing, is these days we do have cars that can talk to us. Do you have satellite navigation in your car?
Yeah.
Do you have it set for a lady's voice or a man's voice?
Lady.
I have a lady as well.
Yeah.
And she gets quite cross sometimes, doesn't she?
Yeah.
If you miss a turning, she'll say, if possible, make a legal U-turn. If you miss it, she'll try again.
Is it an American lady?
Well, she's kind of like mid-Atlantic.
Like a Scottish lady, I'd never find out my way home.
Isn't that neat?
No
Who would have
idea.
thought when you were shooting that one day you would have a car actually talking to you? You invented satellite navigation. You would probably get a percentage.
Yeah, that would actually be a good merchandising item, for the new movie to have, the Knight Rider talking navigation. Hello, Jonathan. It's Kit here. Turn right.
I don't like you staring at me while you do that, if you don't.
Look at you more.
That's a good photo, Bob. I don't know why people keep laughing. You know who you look a bit like there? You look a little bit like Lee Majors there. Is that Lee Majors wearing your wig?
No, but I just saw him. We were actually up for the same part. It was like the league of, television stars up for the same thing.
You know what? He'll probably get it because he's a $6 million man.
Yes.
Let's talk about Baywatch a little bit.
All right.
Okay, ready yourself. There's going to be another photograph of David. We're getting used to your response. There he is. Look at that. You're buff there. You're a fit man. What's that you're holding there?
It's called a rescue cam.
Oh, that's the thing that you go on with.
Yeah.
How long did you do? How many years of your life did you spend rescuing people in Baywatch?
Well, the show was 1 year, then was canceled by NBC, and the four of us went out, figured out a way to buy it.
So four of you, four members, all cast characters with this?
No, this was the three guys who created the show, and then me.
Okay.
And because Knight Rider was so successful in Europe, specifically in Germany, we were able to go over. I went over to the Germans and I said, I have a new show. They said, well, is it Knight Rider? I said, no, it's called Baywatch. And they said, well, are you in it? And I said, yes. They said, well, does it have a car? And I said, no, but you're in it. I said, yes. Well, we'll buy it anyway. And they gave us like $425,000 per episode. So we came back from Europe and we said we have this little bit, and we went and we raised the rest of the money. We bought the show from NBC, which was a canceled show, and four of us got the money, raised it, cut the budget a little bit, and then we lasted 11 years.
I never thought I'd be saying this, but God bless the Germans.
Yeah.
But they must have been surprised by it, because they're predominantly landlocked, aren't they?
Yes, I think so.
So a show on the coast, they probably thought the whole thing was just made up.
Well, it was.
Don't go spoiling my illusion.
Baywatch wasn't real? Come on.
Oh, but it should have been. But you
No,
did
it was
actually
fun.
rescue someone from drowning once, didn't you?
Yeah, there's a funny story and there's a real story. There's a lot of real stories actually from Baywatch where people actually watched the show and pulled their child out of a pool or rescued somebody because they were watching people give CPR on Baywatch.
So they knew what to do once they got them out of the pool.
Yeah, I mean, we met the people. We met the people that survived and came over and said, hey, they say it's a kitschy show, but I'm alive because of it. Thank you.
How weird is that?
Yeah, but I was doing a shoot for one of the magazines, and this kid was throwing a ball for the dog, and the dog went out to chase the ball, and the leash was around the little girl's hand, and he threw the ball in the ocean. And so I was like, giving my 2 poses, and then, boom, there goes the kid. I went, excuse me. And they looked at me and they just photographed me like it's normal.
That's fantastic.
And I went out and pulled her in.
So they must have thought that was set up for the cameras, didn't they?
Yeah, I met the girl a little bit later. She was 18. She goes, you rescued me. I said,
Does everyone speak like that to you? Because I'll be honest with you, David, all your voices are quite similar. Was she the same woman who paid for Baywatch in Germany?
Yes. Oh, God.
Was it fun to make, or did it get tedious towards you?
Oh, my God. Are you kidding? It was a blast. I mean, Knight Rider was incredibly fun because it was a real guy's show, and we got to drive fast, and it was just rip-roaring rock and roll.
Yeah.
And it was such a big success. And then after it was over, I couldn't get a job because I would see, like, casting breakdowns saying, David Hasselhoff type. And I go, I look just like him. And they go, no, not you. That was a different voice, wasn't it?
Well, that was like Lord Snooty.
No, not you. And so when Baywatch came around, I thought, do I really want to do another, action adventure, wear a bathing suit?
Yeah.
I was not really into that. And I thought, because, then you really have to work out. So, but it was absolutely unbelievable because every day you go to the set
and
presumably everybody would take off their clothes. Yeah. We had more fun with Bay. We made more fun of Baywatch than everybody else did because we were having a blast.
Well, it was great fun to watch as well because it wasn't meant to be taken seriously, and so those who criticised it for not being like a slice of life, of course, it was a
usually when you get a bad review, you last a long time, and we lasted 11 years. So
let's have a look. This is a little brief reminder of Baywatch in its heady heyday.
There's at least one man down there, possibly 2. Bring a stretcher and a lot of bandages.
Do you need anything from headquarters?
Yeah, my scuba gear and a spear gun. What's going on in there? 2 lifeguards are fighting an alligator in a subterranean cave. What? I know it sounds crazy, but these guys are mysteriously injured. Trust me, this thing's like a monster. What did I tell you, huh? You wouldn't listen to me. No.
Oh, my God.
I don't believe it.
Don't worry, he's not as tough as he looks.
They don't make them like that anymore.
If you see me when we're actually walking out like that, I was laughing my ass off.
But I bet
was just going, oh God, I can't do this job.
But there were Germans going, Mutti, das Hoff has just rescued the alligator.
Yes.
They're going nuts in Germany.
Does the alligator talk? Oh. I mean, come on.
That's very nearly genius, that show, I feel.
You, when they brought that show to us, and they said, no, it's based on a true story.
Well, there was an alligator in a coastal cave terrorizing passers-by.
Yeah, well, we did another show about where I performed an operation with a pencil, and that was even worse, Well,
you say worse, but what you actually mean is better.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Now, we had the lovely Pamela Anderson on the show a few weeks ago. She was quite easily distracted. But
she was. She's distracting.
Yeah. Oh, she is. I was trying to pin her down on the subject of, I've heard that they may well be making a Baywatch movie.
Right.
Have you heard this?
Yes.
Okay. And I've also heard the rumour, improbably it sounds, that Steven Spielberg is considering directing. Is there any truth in that?
There's no truth to that, but the company that he runs, DreamWorks, is picked it up about 6 or 8 months ago. So what they did is they pay us a certain amount of money and they develop it and they tell us what we like and a lot of that. Same thing. We're doing the same thing with Knight Rider now.
So there are 2 movies possibly going to happen. They're in development then. Knight Rider and Baywatch. Will you appear in those films?
Knight Rider for sure. Baywatch, I don't know. By the time Baywatch gets made, I might be like, with a walker down the beach.
So
go get him. Someone's drowning.
So the Speedo has been hung up?
Is that a play on words?
I don't know.
The Speedo has been hung up.
Well, you wear a Speedo.
I used to wear Speedos.
What about when you're on holiday?
No.
What do you favour?
Oh, we never wore Speedos on Baywatch.
It looked like a Speedo to me.
No,
and I don't know if you've ever seen Germans abroad, but Germans always wear Speedos.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Yeah. I once saw a German in a shop in the south of France wearing the tightest denim shorts. First of all, I thought they'd been painted on.
Yeah.
And he was buying a baguette and a very small bottle of wine. Anyway, don't distract me with that.
Okay.
Because you wear the Speedo, or
Yes.
whatever it is,
Yes.
whatever breed of trunk it is,
Yes.
in the SpongeBob SquarePants movie.
Right.
Right? Now, I was not that familiar with SpongeBob. My children, especially my little boy, he loves it.
Right.
He loves SpongeBob SquarePants. It's off and on in the background. I've learned to tolerate it. And it struck me as being colourful and noisy and slightly annoying.
Right.
I hadn't really given it the time. I was dragged along to see the movie. Was enjoying it. Was kind of like, you know, a bit dozing off, as dads do when they go to movies. You ever doze off when you go to see films? Obviously, I don't doze off for the movies I'm reviewing, but, you know, in my own time, I'll have a nap. And then suddenly there's a cameo appearance from none other than the Hoff, which was both delightful and unexpected. Had you been a fan of the show beforehand? Did they just come to you out of the blue?
Nickelodeon, MTV, and the Osbournes were about must-sees at my house, and so I knew who SpongeBob was, and I've been getting asked to do a lot of cameos.
I bet you do.
I don't want to play David Hasselhoff again. I'm tired of David Hasselhoff. I want to play a part. So they called me up and they said, it's Nickelodeon. I said, I'm not, and they said, SpongeBob. I said, I'll do it.
Wow.
Because of my kids. And I became the hero of the neighborhood.
I bet they... So how old were your kids when you agreed to do the film?
10 and 12.
Wow, perfect age for SpongeBob SquarePants.
And we went and we shot the film, and it's amazing because it's single-handedly the #1 cartoon, even over Mickey Mouse, in the world. It's worth $1 billion in merchandising.
Well, kids hardly watch Mickey Mouse. They don't even know who Mickey Mouse is anymore.
They don't, but they know who SpongeBob is.
They certainly do. This is David. I don't want to spoil it, but this is the bit when you first see the Hoff meet the SpongeBob.
The Hoff.
Oh no. How will we ever get back to Bikini Bottom now?
I can take you there.
Who are you?
I'm David Hasselhoff.
So where's your boat?
Boat.
Go, Hasselhoff!
Next stop, Bikini Bottom.
That's a beautiful moment. You know, that's a great moment. The DVD of SpongeBob SquarePants is out on Monday, I believe. It's great fun. It really is genuinely a very amusing
it's great
film.
for the family. The whole,
Do you like being in the UK? You like
I
London?
love it, yeah.
Okay.
I lived on the Thames when I was here.
In the Thames?
No. No, I wouldn't go in the Thames.
But wouldn't it be great if people going to work seeing you coming out the Thames in your red Speedos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you know, I was crossing the bridge. I lived over by the London Eye.
Yeah.
And I would cross the bridge, and those little tour boats would go by. And I'd stand up there as a guy and go, hello. And they'd go by and they go, wah! And then as it would go through, the whole boat would be going. And then the guy was going, and there's David Hasselhoff on the bridge. That's right, you know.
He's there every Monday,
Out of
tell
work,
your friends.
He's every Monday. Yeah.
What a bizarre thing to do.
Yeah.
But you know what, it seems to, you wear it very comfortably. For
That's
someone,
fun.
you know, who's been in the business for a while, often people get kind of cranky, they get grouchy, they don't seem to like, they don't have much sense of humour about themselves, and they don't seem to like being recognised. But you seem to take it in your stride.
You know what? It's an absolute blessing. I mean, it's a pain in the ass sometimes when you know somebody's had a little bit too much to drink, and then you know. But that's like, you know, 2%. 99% of the time, it's fantastic. You get to travel the world, and you know you can, you know, it's what you make of it. You can affect somebody else's life in a positive way, and they can affect you, or you can be negative and shell up, which I've done. It doesn't work.
Isn't that the loveliest sentiment, ladies and gentlemen, that we've heard this evening? I think you'll agree. Even if it was insincere, it sounded marvellous. I'm not saying it was, I'm just saying I don't know you well
My
enough to be able to
press
tell.
agent wrote that.
Yeah. But
It's right here.
it did sound like something from a self-help book.
Yes. Mine's coming out soon. It didn't work for me.
Very briefly, Mr. Hasselhoff,
Yes, Mr. Ross.
your music
Yes.
has inspired many. Okay?
At least 3 people.
Yeah. You're not so big over here. You're not so big in America. I've asked you not to laugh at that picture, and I'm going to start sending people home.
Get rid of that.
Here's the deal. Look, give the man a chance. He's just relaxing at home.
Oh, my
Is
dog
that-
chewed
please-
up that thing.
David, please tell me that is your house.
That is my African room, but my dogs chewed the ear off the dead lion.
I love the fact
And
you
that's
have an
the kid
African
car.
room. Do you have rooms of all nations?
No, that's a very old picture.
See, that's what it should be like at the UN. They should have an African room. They should have a Dutch room with like a little pancake shop and some dope. They should have that. So people feel at home when they come to represent their
German
country.
room with little people in lederhosen.
Yeah, and like 24-hour Baywatch.
Yeah.
But you've had a very successful musical career as well. Very, you know, hugely successful. Like, how many, 10, 11 albums you've had out, something like that?
Yeah, I never expected to go into pop music. It was I wanted to be on Broadway, you know. So, but in the interim, when Knight Rider was canceled, I found out that I had a hit record in Austria. So I asked this little girl who was having lunch with me as a contest. I said, "Great, where's Austria?" And we went over to Austria, and I called up and said, "Hi, I'm David Hasselhoff, and I represent David Hasselhoff." They said, "Oh, really? You represent yourself?" And I said, "Oh, no, my name is David Schwartz. I represent David Hasselhoff." And then I said, "Is this record #1?" And they said, "Yes." And so I said, "What if I brought him over with the Knight Rider car, figuring if they wouldn't come to see me, they would come to see the car?" I was looking for a paycheck and looking to go to work because I was really bored.
So this is when the show had finished?
Knight Rider's canceled. I was coming out of a divorce. I was sitting at home going, "This is my Ernest Hemingway period. I'm not doing well, and I've got to do something." And this was the opening. So I literally got two Trans Ams, drove them down the freeway, shipped them to Austria, opened up in a tent in Wiener Neustadt. My father did all the publicity and press and all of the merchandising, the rings, the hats, the T-shirts. My best buddy and I wrote the show, pre-recorded the whole show, came on with the Knight Rider car singing, "I Am the Night Rocker."
Wow.
Horrible song.
In Germany, was that Ich bin des Nightrocker?
It was in Austria, and my dad comes in and says, "We got good news and bad news. The good news is we're sold out. There's 10,000 people. And the bad news is we have no more merchandising, and we drew more people than the Rolling Stones." And that kind of led to...
Because genuinely, David is huge in Germany. I mean, it sounds like an odd sort of joke almost, but you are really, really big in Germany still, aren't you?
We sold, I think, 8 or 9 million records.
8 or 9 million records. Yeah. And here's the thing that I imagine you're most proud of is you helped bring down the Berlin Wall, didn't you? Well, did you or did you not? Don't be. What's that?
Did you? That's from the National Enquirer, right?
Well, or
the Sun. It must be true.
I have seen footage of you standing on the Berlin Wall singing about freedom, while people are breaking it down either because they want freedom or they just want to shut you up. But you appear to be instrumental in it.
Well, what happened was I had a single called "Looking for Freedom," and it was #1 for 8 weeks between like May, June, and July. And I'd gone into East Germany, and I said, "You know me from the show, The Talking Car?" They would look at me like I was insane.
Because they didn't have it over there.
No, but they had "Looking for Freedom." And so they all knew it in East Germany. Anyway, the wall came down. Nothing had to do with me, obviously.
Well, you say that, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, you know what? I was invited to sing on New Year's Eve, and I said, only if I can sing on the wall as a joke. I figured they'd say no, and they said yes. Wow. And we went up in a crane. My wife was 7 months pregnant. We put everybody... Took about 20 of my buddies from high school and college, photographers, we documented the whole thing. Everybody got on the wall, and there was 1 million people singing in English, "I've been looking for freedom," and it was like this surreal moment.
Well, yeah.
And then we all...
And
we did chop down the wall after that.
But were people chipping down the wall while you were on it?
Yeah, we were chipping the wall that night until 4 in the morning, and the next morning I was in the water in Malibu doing Baywatch going, "What happened?"
Yeah, but there's something about you, because I've got a fence at home, and just talking to you now, I want to tear it down.
I think that's good, you see?
You inspire...
I inspire wall tearing down.
There's an intolerance of barriers when I'm around you.
That's right.
I will not be penned in if I'm near the Hoff. David, you have been a most charming and delightful guest. What a pleasure to meet someone like yourself who doesn't take it too seriously and yet is obviously, you know, a big talent as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I think you'll agree, a splendid guest, Mr. David Hasselhoff. Are you going to stay for the music?
I'll stay for the band. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you to all my guests this evening, the lovely Kelly Osbourne, of course, the League of Gentlemen, and Mr. David Hasselhoff. Next week, I'll be joined by Priscilla Presley, Bob Mortimer and Steve Coogan will be here, and Gordon Ramsay. But now, performing Jetstream, it's New Order, featuring Animatronic.